Good morning, everybody. Well, back at it. I'm gonna skip all the introductions and let's just jump right into this thing. So we've got a dometic cooler. What's the model on this? It's a Cool Freeze CF50. This particular cooler, it's got 120 volt power supply or the option of a 1224 volt supply. And what's happening, normally I keep this plugged in on the boat into the 120 volt because I have an inverter on the boat, so when I'm out sailing that inverter's on. Long story short, normally I keep it plugged in on the 120 volt side, but we're plugged in, we've got nothing on the display up here, and so we want to make sure that we're getting 120 volts to this main circuit board, because this main circuit board takes that 120 volts AC voltage and converts it to 1224, or well, it just converts it to 12 volts actually, on this particular model. This compressor is a BDF35F and it's made by Danfoss, and this compressor is a 12 or 20 volt DC voltage compressor. So in order to run on AC power, there has to be a way to convert that 120 volts AC to 12 volts DC, and that's what this circuit board does. We won't get too crazy into the particulars of it, but that's what it does, amongst many other things. But yeah, let's see if we have a stopping point where we've got 120 volts here, but for some reason it's not making it to the board, or if it's making it to this circuit board, do we have 12 volts coming out of this board to operate everything? Because all the operation from past this board is all 12 volts. So that's what we need to find out to determine if this board is not converting that voltage. Well, it's a lot more quiet without the air conditioner on. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So get your, let's set our voltage here, and we're on AC voltage, so that's cool. We're plugged in at the wall. We've got nothing on the display. You can't see the display, but it's blank. Let's see here. So on the back side, this guy right here is the back side of our 120 volt plug. I could probably get a meter on that to see what we got going on here. Let's see here, what do we got? 122 volts. All right, that's cool. So from there, we go into this circuit board, and then we go out of that circuit board right here, and then this wire comes up and lands right here on our main circuit board. So let's skip the outlet side of this and just go to our main circuit board and see if we're getting 120 volts. We are. Hopefully you can see that, 121 volts. So all I did was just following the voltage to see where it stops. Okay, so we know we have 120 volts coming into this main circuit board. We need to determine, is it producing 12 volts DC to power up the display and run the fan and the compressor, because right now it's not doing anything. So let's switch us from 120 volts AC, or not 120 volts, but AC voltage over to DC voltage. And then let's find our wires here that power up everything. And it looks like it's gonna be these two guys, which I have the cover somewhere. No, not there. What did I do with that cover? Here it is. So this is normally located on the side, and if you read right here, what we've got, this is the positive and the negative for the 1224 volt input, and then up here at the top you've got your line voltage and your neutral for the input voltage for 120 volts. So that's what we just measured. That normally sits on there like that. And so we checked our voltage here. So we want to see if we have voltage coming out of here on these two wires, which might be a little difficult to see here. Be very careful when you're working with voltage, because you can shock yourself pretty quick. Let me move you guys so you can see that a little bit better. There we go. Now you can see a little better. Okay, So let's just confirm. Let's come back to AC voltage. 120 volts. Yep. Let's go to DC voltage. And let's come right here and see what we've got coming out of the board. 1.2 volts DC. That is not going to get it. That's not going to work for us. So let's do this. Let's unplug our 120 volts and let's use the 12 volt plug to, let's just provide it with 12 volts to see what we get then. Let's see if this cord will reach over here. Ah, there we go. The display's on now. Oh, the compressor even started. So let's check here now and see what we have as far as input on our circuit board. Yeah, 12.8 volts DC. There you go. 13 volts. Yeah. So you see that sudden drop in voltage? That 10, now we're down at 10.5 and it just cycled off. That's because the reason I've been running it on 120 volts for so long is because that power cord's kind of messed up and I need to get a new one. But it is coming on now for a brief minute until that voltage drops down. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys that. So what is actually wrong here? Let me unplug this so we'll quit short cycling. I need to fix this plug. It just has a bunch of corrosion on it. So what we've got here is this board has gone bad. The transformer that transforms 120 volts AC to 12 volts DC has gone bad. Now I can't physically see anything wrong with it. Oftentimes you'll see the transformer or the converter melt down or something of that nature. I can't physically see that on here, but nevertheless it has gone bad. So what we'll do is I'll order a new circuit board for this and I'll put it all back together for right now, and then I'll just run it all. I'll clean that 1224 volt cord up and we'll just run the fridge off of 12 volts for a while till we can get us a new circuit board for it. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. Pretty easy troubleshooting, nothing too terribly complicated. All you're doing, just remember when you're troubleshooting something like this, especially for you guys that don't work with electricity a lot, find your input voltage. First have a decent understanding of how everything operates. You know, what is this fan or what is this compressor? You know, figure out the voltage of it. And then what's the input voltage that you're giving to the piece of equipment? And then just follow your power and see where it stops. You know, if you know this is a 1224 volt compressor, but you're feeding the machine 120 volts, well, somehow it's got to convert from 120 to 1224. And that's done through this circuit board. So just follow your path, figure out where you're losing voltage at, and that will very oftentimes bring you to the point where the problem is. So, yep, if you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll try to help you out. And we'll get a new board ordered for this and get it all fixed back up. Well, all right, we're back together. Yeah, stick around for part two. I'll order a new circuit board when it shows up. We'll get it swapped out and get this thing back up and running on 120 volts. It seems to run better on 120 volts because it's a bit more consistent voltage. The plug that I have down here on this side of the boat for 12 volts or 24 volts, there's something, it's such a long run from my house bank of batteries back over here that I think it loses just enough voltage loss to where the cooler cycles off and on. But I haven't tried it in a long time, so I'm gonna plug it in, see how it operates, and we'll get this board replaced when the new one shows up. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one. See ya.